rise, everybody. Please be seated, Professor.
Thank you very much, and witness, welcome back. Mr. Kuliati will continue asking you questions. Again, if you at any point need a break, just let us know.
Thank you, Mr. President. And before I commence, I'll indicate that my learned friend, Ms. Laurie, had spoken to me over the break about areas on which there was no problem with us leading the witness, and I'm grateful for those because they will expedite matters a touch. Witness, welcome back. Is it correct that once you found all your children, you went to go to the side of the road, to the side of the E10 road, to a place called Joyland?
Yes.
And we've got the answer to that as yes. And again, I want to remind both counsel and the witness that we're in open session. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. And is it correct, witness, that you arrived there at approximately 9 or 10 in the morning?
Is correct.
And very simply, can you tell the court, and don't mention any names, can you tell the...
I think the microphone is gone again. If the
trying the second one,
interpretation magic will work again. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Your Honor.
Is the connection? Yes, no. It does appear to be the magic touch. Where was I? Yes, witness, what I was asking you is, very briefly, and do not mention any names, can you tell the court the reason that you took your children to Joyland?
Tuliambiwa wamama na watoto tutokeze kwa barabara.
Women and children were asked to go to the road or to go to the sides of the road.
And what was the reason for that?
Kwa sababu kulikuwa hakuna usalama. Sasa
the reason is that there was no security. And the idea was to try to save them.
And is it correct that Joyland is approximately half a kilometer from the junction?
Ndio.
Is it between junction and E10 on the E10 road?
Ni ukweli.
Yes.
Now, how many Hello? I can't hear anything again.
Interpreters?
Hear you, Your Honor.
You,
Trying again? No, nothing.
it didn't work this time.
This time it
And
didn't.
hear Mr. Bugatti as well.
Interpreters can hear you, Mr. Pugliati. Can you?
It's not. Now I can hear myself. I was going to say it's not important if I can't hear myself, provided everybody else can. But now I can hear myself as well. So, witness, my question was: how many people were gathered at Joyland?
Dear, sorry.
I'm sorry, please, would you kindly repeat your question?
Yes. Approximately how many people, it doesn't have to be exact, approximately how many people were gathered on the side of the E10 road?
Mahali tulikuwa hapo Joyride ama sijaelewa hiyo swali tena, rudia.
I still have not quite understood your question. Do you want to know where we were in Joyland, or what is it that you're asking for specifically?
Witness is trying to understand the number of people. Is it who were there? If you can give us an estimate of the number of people who were there, 100, 1,000, 10? How many people?
Tulikuwa kama watu 200.
There were about 200 people there.
Thank you, witness. And what ethnicities were these people?
Walikuwa Wakikuyu.
They were Kikuyus.
And what ages were these people?
Kulikuwa na wazee, kulikuwa na umri wa katikati.
There were some elderly persons, and there were also some adults as well as children.
Now, is it correct that there were also some policemen at this location?
Kulikuwa na maaskari 6.
Yes, there were 6 policemen at that location.
And they were armed with guns?
Ndio, walikuwa na bunduki.
Yes, they had guns.
And did the policemen tell you the purpose of their being there? Why were they there?
walituambia wametumwa wakuje watuokoe.
They told us that they had been sent to save us or rescue us.
Now, witness, if I could ask you to refer to the sheet in front of you. Don't say any names, but is it correct that person number 14 was also gathered there with you?
Hakukuwa mmoja wa watu wenye tulikuwa pamoja.
No, he was not among those who were with us.
Mr. President, at this juncture, I'd request to go into private session for approximately 4 or 5 minutes. There are some matters I'd like to canvass privately. The bulk of the rest of the evidence regarding what happens next, we say can be dealt with publicly, but there's a self-contained set of questions following on from where we're at the moment that we'd like to ask privately if the court is minded.
Private session.
Nous sommes en audience publique, Monsieur le Président.
President, we are in public session.
Thank you.
Madam Witness, we've now returned to public session, so please do not discuss any of the matters that we spoke about just now. Now, you said that you returned to where we were awaiting help. Are you referring to Joyland? Did you return to Joyland on the E10 road?
Ndio.
Yes.
And were the Kikuyus still gathered there?
Hawakuwa wanapatikana, waliletwa hapo kwa sababu kulikuwa hakuna usalama.
No, they were not there. They had simply been taken there for security and safety reasons. They weren't based there.
Perhaps I wasn't clear in my question. Were the Kikuyus still at Joyland awaiting help? Were they still there for security?
Ndio.
Yes.
Now, witness. Hello? Witness? Are you hearing me? Hello? They can. The council can't hear. Mr. President?
No, I can't hear you, but I think the interpreters can hear all of us, including you. Can you say
I
it?
can hear him clearly, Mr. President.
Hello? Okay, we're back. Witness, without saying any names, if you need to say a name, use the sheet in front of you. But can you tell the court what you saw when you returned to Joyland.
Wakati nilirudi Joyland niliona.
When I returned to Joyland, I saw more than 1,000 people who had come from location number 5, rather number 8. When they came closer to where we were, the policemen went and asked them to kneel down, which they did. They knelt down. Then they asked them where they were going, and they answered, saying that they had learnt that William Ruto and Raila Odinga had been arrested and that they were going to demonstrate peacefully. At that time, the chief of Kimumu was going around or about with Sami Ruto in a car. They were going to and fro.
Thank you, witness. I'll come to that in a few moments. I'd just like to ask you a few questions about the people that you saw arrive. First of all, can you tell the court what ethnicity these 1,000 people were?
Walikuwa Wakalenjin, niliona wa...
Answer, they were Kalenjin. I also saw some Luo people, Turkana. It was a mixture of people.
And which group? I don't know if I'm being heard again.
I think you're not. We have to stay steady on and try our best. Interpreters, can you tell me if you can hear us? I couldn't hear you.
Message from the interpreters, yes, we can hear you.
Ms. Puliat, try again.
Trying again? Yes, okay. Witness, which ethnic group was the largest?
Wengi walikuwa Wakalenjin.
Answer, most of the people were Kalenjins.
And approximately what time of day did you see this, if you know?
Ilikuwa kitu saa 4, saa 5 hapo. Tarehe
Answer, it was around 10 or 11 in the morning, and that was on the 31st.
And are you able to say how old these people were?
Siwezi kusema exactly miaka yao.
Answer, I couldn't tell you exactly how old they were. There were some young people, there were older people, but most of them were under 30 years of age.
And by which means? I've lost it again. Hello?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Interpreters.
Even the interpreters are now gone too. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear, Mr. President.
Message from the interpreters. The French and English booths can hear you.
Thank you.
Hello? Very well. Witness, this group of people that you saw coming in your direction, by what means were they traveling?
Walitumia gari kwa sababu wengi wao walikuwa.
Answer. They were in vehicles because most of them were not from the area. I'm sorry, I beg your pardon.
Rudia swali tena.
Please repeat your question.
Witness, I'll try be a little more specific. I've lost the signal again.
Witness, part of the problem we're all having, but we all have to be patient, is that there's some technical difficulties with the microphone system. We've been having that since yesterday, as you noticed. But we will try and persevere. Interpreters, can you give me a message?
Message from the interpreters, yes. English and French booths can hear you.
Thank you.
Trying my microphone, yes.
Interpreters, you have the key. You are unlocking this whole thing when it clocks up. Keep it up. Thank you.
Witness, I'll try to be a little more specific in my question if I can be. Were these people traveling on foot or by some other means?
Hao watu wenye niliona karibu mahali na tulikuwa walikuwa wanatembelea.
Answer. The people that I saw close to where I was were on foot.
And were they carrying anything?
Walikuwa wamebeba silaha kwa mikono.
Answer. They were carrying weapons. They had weapons in their hands.
Are you able to tell the court which types of weapons they were carrying?
Walikuwa wamebeba rungu.
Answer. They were carrying rungus. A runga is like a club. You hold it in your hand.
Did you see any other weapons?
Sikuona silaha ingine.
Answer. No, I did not see any other kind of weapon.
Could you describe for the court how these people...
Nous sommes en audience publique, Monsieur le Président.
The court officer, we are in open session.
Witness, you said that you saw the chief of Kimumu and Sami Ruto going back and forth in a car. Can I just check with you, when you say the chief of Kimumu, are you referring to the chief Sang you told the court about yesterday, or somebody different?
Nasugumusia Chief Sang mwenye nilitaja jana.
Answer. I'm talking about Chief Sang, the person that I mentioned yesterday.
And is the Sami Ruto that you're talking about the same Sami Ruto who you told the court had been elected to the position of councillor?
Dio.
Sir, yes.
You said they were in a vehicle. Were they in the same vehicle, or were they each in a vehicle?
Alikuwa kwa gari moja.
Answer. They were in the same vehicle.
And this is, you said, between backwards and forwards between locations 3 and location 4. Is that what you said?
Ni hivyo.
Answer. Yes, that's right.
Do you know who the vehicle? Hello? Do you know?
All right. Can you hear me again? I think not. Interpreters, you can hear me?
The French and English interpreters can hear you.
Thank you very much. I think you're back on.
Witness? Yes, I am. Witness, do you know who the vehicle belonged to?
Gari ilikuwa ya Chief Sang.
Answer. The vehicle belonged to Chief Sang.
And did you see anything else in the vehicle?
Nyuma ilikuwa na mataa.
Answer. In the back, there were drums. They had drums at the back of the vehicle.
What sort of drums were these?
Ilikuwa ya black.
Answer. They were black in color.
Do you know what such drums are typically used to transport?
Are they drums, musical instruments, or containers?
Witness, what sort of drums were these?
Tanki ni kitu unaweza weka kitu kama maji ama kitu chochote.
Answer. They are containers. You can put water in them or oil. Something like that.
I should have asked you this a moment ago. What sort of vehicle was this that was being driven?
ilikuwa muundo wa pickup.
It was a pickup.
Now, to the best of your knowledge, do you know why they were going to and fro with these drums in the back of their pickup?
Kwa kufikiria kwangu, nilikuwa naona waliku...
Answer, in my opinion, I saw them. They would go and then come back. The group that had gone in front of us, there was another group that came from Ziwa, and they were waiting for them to arrive.
Witness, I'll come to that other group in a moment. I'd just like to ask you if there's anything else you know about why Sammy Ruto and the chief of Kimumu would be going backwards and forwards.
Chief Sang na Sammy Ruto walikuwa...
Answer, Chief Sang and Sammy Ruto were going back and forth just to gain some time, and that way the group from Ziwa and the other group from Beta Farm, they were waiting for those groups to arrive so that they could begin their work.
And how long were you observing them do this backwards and forwards, this to and fro? How long did it last?
Hapo ni kuguess, lakini kwa sababu hiyo siku mtu alikuwa confused.
Answer, well, I'm trying to imagine this scene because you see I was confused. It took them about an hour.
Now, you said there was a second group that arrived from the direction of Ziwa. Are you able to tell the court how many people were in this group?
Siwezi jua walikuwa watu wangapi kwa sababu...
Answer, I'm not in a position to know how many of them there were, because at that point we had gathered together and it was about half a kilometer in relation to the place where they had gathered, but there were many of them.
Witness, just approximately. I've lost my microphone.
Well, let's try this before I go to interpreters. Mr. Narasetseng, can you test your microphone?
1 2 1 2.
Miss Lowry, can you do the same, please?
1 2.
Interpreters, you can hear me?
The interpreters, yes, French and English booths can hear you. No difficulties.
Trying again. Yes. Witness, the group from Ziwa, in your estimation, was it smaller, larger, or approximately the same size as the group that you had seen on the E10 road?
Wenye niliona walikuwa wengi, lakini hawakukuwa wengi kama...
Answer, I saw that there were many of them, but not more in number than the people I saw who had come from Eaton Road.
And how far away were you approximately from the Ziwa group?
Kutoka mahali tulikuwa tumekaa kwenda hapo.
From the place where we were to the place where the people were at Maziwa, the distance was about half a kilometer.
The place where you were, was that still Joyland, or had you moved to a different place?
Ni hapo hapo tu Joyride.
We were still at Joyland.
And if you can remember, how was the visibility on that day, at that time?
Ilikuwa mchana, kulikuwa na mwanga.
It was during the day, and there was still some daylight.
And did you see how this Ziwa group, how were they traveling?
Hata wao walikuwa wanatembea kwa miguu.
They were also traveling on foot.
Now, you said earlier that one group arrived first and was waiting for the other group to arrive. Using the sheet in front of you, could you tell the court which location that was? If it's on the sheet.
Rudia swali tena.
Kindly repeat your question, please.
Yes, you said that one group had been waiting for the other group to meet them. Could you use the sheet and tell the court the number of the location if the location is on the sheet?
I'm not sure that question is clear. I actually had the same difficulty as the witness the first time. From where to where? If you can correlate the location, that might.
I can break it down into two questions. Witness, did the two groups meet each other?
Kudi hizo mbili walienda wakakutana number 4.
The two groups met at number 4.
Which group arrived first? The Ziwa group or the Iten group? At number 4.
Number 5. Iten group.
Number 5, Eaton Group.
when the two groups met, what happened next?
Wakati ule hizo kundi mbili walikutana,
when the two groups met, they started to burn everything. We were surrounded by fire everywhere.
Could you just explain what you mean by burn everything? What was being burnt?
walikuwa wanachoma manyumba.
They were burning houses.
Don't say any names, but do you know who those houses belonged to?
Hizo manyumba walikuwa wanachoma zilikuwa za Wakikuyu.
The houses that were burnt belonged to Kikuyus.
And these Kikuyu houses that were being burnt, what were they made out of?
Kuna zenye zilikuwa zimejengwa za mawe, kuna zenye zilikuwa.
Some of the houses were built in planks and others in stone, and others still built with sand. From the interpreter, they were built in straw. Microphone problems. Built in Pise.
Right. Interpreters, can you give us back the answer again?
Some of the houses were built in stone, others in wood, and others built in Pise, says the interpreter, the witness, which is compressed earth, so to speak.
And were all of these houses made of wood, made of stone, and made of Pise? Were they all burned?
Walichoma.
Yes, they were all burnt.
Just about the group that you saw from Ziwa, from where you were, could you see if they were armed or not?
Sikuona silaha kwa sababu nimesema mahali nilikuwa nime.
I did not see any weapons. What I said is that I was at a location which was half a kilometer from where they were.
Now, regarding the burning, you spoke about Kikuyu houses. Could you tell the court what happens to the houses that did not belong to Kikuyus?
Hawakuwa wanachoma manyumba za watu kabila zingine, walikuwa wanachoma tu manyumba.
They did not burn houses belonging to persons from other ethnic groups. They only burned houses belonging to Kikuyus.
Now, could you tell the court how far away from this you were?
Mahali nilikuwa nimesema tena na tena na mahali.
Let me repeat myself. The location at which I was 500 meters away from the location where those people were. So they were half a kilometer away.
Again, witness, without saying any names, can you describe the positions of the houses that you saw being burned? Mr. President, I notice the witness is shaking her head, which...
Let's go to private session.
Nous sommes en audience publique, Monsieur le Président.
Mr. President, we are in public session.
Witness, just a reminder, we've moved back into public. This burning that you've described for the court, can you say how long you were there to observe this for?
Ilikuwa muda kama wa masaa matatu.
I would say that it was about 3 hours.
And did the policeman present say anything to you while this was happening?
Sasa wale maaskari tulikuwa nao walituambia hivi. Sasa
We were with the policemen, and this is what they said. You have seen how this situation is deteriorating. So, henceforth, each person must save themselves.
And I understand that you were subsequently transported to the Eldoret police station, is that correct?
Tulipelekwa huko.
Yes, we were taken there.
And is it correct that you were taken there by lorry?
Ndio.
Yes.
And is it correct that the police... Hello? Hello?
All right. Interpreters, you can hear me as well again?
Yes, we can hear you, Your Honor.
Mr. Pugliati?
1, 2, 1, 2. Yes. Witness, is it correct that the other people who'd been with you at the side of the road, the other Kikuyu, were also taken with you to Eldoret Police Station?
Tulipelekwa pamoja.
Yes, we were all taken there together.
And is it correct that from your position on the side of the road, the lorry needed to make a number of trips, 4 trips in fact, to collect everybody who was there and take them to the station?
Hiyo gari yenye ilikuwa inasafirisha watu kupeleka Eldoret Police Station.
The lorries that were used to transport people to the Eldoret Police Station made 4 trips.
And is it correct that on each trip, the lorry carried approximately 40, 50 or 60 people?
Ni ukweli.
Correct.
And you put your children on the first lorry, is that correct?
Ndio.
Yes.
And you took the third, yes?
Ndio.
Yes.
Now the lorries that were transporting you, were they full?
Watu walikuwa wanajaa.
Yes. The lorries were full of people.
Now, is it correct, witness, that these lorries were not covered, but they were open at the back?
Ni ukweli.
Yes, that is correct.
So were you able to see what was happening on the road as you were being transported?
Tukienda Eldoret Police Station, kulikuwa.
When we got to Eldoret Police Station, there were roadblocks, or rather on our way to the police station there were roadblocks. At that time, there were some Kalenjin women nearby. They were talking to us, and they said things like, Madoa Doa, Zangari, go back to Utaya. And they throw stones at us.
In what language did they say that?
Kiswahili.
They spoke Swahili.
Now, the roadblocks that you say you encountered, was this on the road between the E10 Road and Eldoret Centre?
Yeah.
Yes.
And do you recall how many roadblocks you encountered on your journey?
Sikumbuki zilikuwa roadblock ngapi, lakini
I do not remember the number of roadblocks, but I do remember that we came across some roadblocks on our way.
And can you describe, don't say any names, but can you describe who was manning or operating these roadblocks?
ni wamama wa Kalenjin.
It was Kalenjin women.
Sorry, ebu rudia hiyo. Sorry tena.
I am sorry. Please repeat your question, says the witness.
Of course, I'll repeat the question. Could you describe who was manning or operating these roadblocks?
Kwa roadblock tulikuwa tunapata kama wameweka roadblock. Sasa wale maaskari tulikuwa nao.
Where there were roadblocks, I noticed that it is the policemen with whom we were who came out of the vehicles to remove the roadblocks so that we could go through.
And were people stationed at the roadblocks or located at the roadblocks?
Wamama wa Wakalenjin ndio walikuweko wanatuambia.
Yes, there were some Kalenjin women at the roadblocks, and they spoke to us. They said, Madoa Doa, Sangari, go back to Uzaya.
Were there any youths on the roadblocks?
Come on, just object.
Apologies. I asked my learned friend not to lead on this point.
I'll re-put the question. Witness, other than the women, did you see anyone else at the roadblocks?
Walikuwa wanayudhi wa Kalenjin.
Yes, there were some Kalenjin youth at the roadblocks.
And do you know if these Kalenjin youths were armed or not?
Again, I think that's leading, but I think the damage has been done.
Mr. Pugliati, proceed with some caution there. But let the witness answer the question. Witness, you said Kalenjin youths were at the roadblock. Did they have anything on them or with them?
Walikuwa na mawe yenye walikuwa wanaturusia kwa gari.
They had stones in their hands, and they threw the stones at us while we were in the lorry.
Mr. Pugliati, I noticed there's 1 minute to 12.
That's correct, Mr. President. I'd like to say that under ordinary circumstances we would have been finished by now. We took some breaks, of course, today, and we've lost a significant amount of time due to technical issues. We're very, very close. We've moved through most of the large topics. If we can crave the indulgence of the court to have approximately 15 to 20 minutes in the next session, which is less, in fact, than the time I understand we may have lost today through various matters out of our control, then we will wrap up.
When we come back, you'll have the 15 minutes then to complete your examination in chief.
I'm grateful.
And Madam Registrar, try also to, I know the technicians are working on it, but let's try harder on this difficulty. Of course, by now you would have noticed that when I talk to the interpreters and they speak back to us, things seem to move. That's something they can keep in mind. Witness, we will now take our lunch break.
Mr. President, if I just may have 1 second, because we go first in the afternoon, so I just wanted to say we're just using the core binder tab 6. So if everyone can bring it after the lunch break, that would be great. Thank you.
Come again?
That's tab 6 of the core binder. We have already indicated that, but we're not using the afternoon. We indicated maybe tab 6 and 7, but it'll just be tab 6. So it would be good if everyone, we've also announced that to the interpreters and they have the right references.
All right. So the witness, we will let you off on lunch break now, and then we will meet again at 2:30. And thank you very much. We will bring down the blinds and escort the witness.